Actually, good afternoon. I wanted to say good morning, but all of you have lunch? Please keep the lunch with you. Don't throw it at the speaker. That's one thing I want to be sure of. I know some speakers might be good, some speakers might be horrible, like me, but please don't throw stuff. First of all, welcome to the Ignite sessions. The Ignite format is quite simple. 5 minutes, 20 slides, auto-forwarding. So the speaker has no control over whatever the timing of the slides is. Either the person makes it or fails on it, and both is awesome, because either you laugh because it's great, or you laugh because the person stumbles, right? At least, in the end, it's only 5 minutes. So it means we have 7 speakers today that will do an Ignite. 5 of them have a prepared Ignite, which means they prepared a topic, they prepared a slide deck. 2 have a slide deck that do not know what the slide deck holds. We're doing a blind Ignite. Yes, we signed up for this. I don't know why. This seemed like such a good idea back in the day over beers, but I know who made my slide deck, and she's sitting over there, and she's smiling like, you're gonna fail. I know who made his slide deck, haven't seen it, so we both do not know what the slides will be. We will see them as we go, and we're gonna make up a story on the spot.
We hope.
We hope, or we fail. So it's not if we fail, it's how we fail. Question.
Yeah. Can we ask hard questions during the session?
No. No. You cannot ask any questions during the session. 5 minutes, because we need to slot this in within the lunch, so we're packed.
There he is.
There he is.
Ah, that's the one that made one of the blind Ignite slide decks for this man. So we're hoping for the best. The first one I want to ask to come forward, Willem. You are doing a prepared Ignite, which is already hard. So please give a big hand for Willem.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Is the mic ready?
And
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Good.
Go.
play.
Okay, thank you. I want to ask you a question. Who knows what this is? Who's been there? And okay, well, you're unlucky. And who's seen the parking spot like this before? No, I haven't either. Because once I went to the IKEA and I wanted to go to a stellingkast. I wanted one like this. So I went to the IKEA with my wife. And she said, you need to buy a fjallbø. And we got home and we built it. This is not me, by the way, and not my wife, but we were building a stellingkast. And you know, in the end, this was our stellingkast at home. So we went to the IKEA and we built it ourselves. Yes, we were so proud. And this is what we call the IKEA effect. And the IKEA effect is actually, if you build it yourself, it gives you such a great feeling. And this is where my story begins. It begins with a test case. No, not this case, it's the other one. It's this one, yes, exactly, a JUnit case. And what I wanted to test is my logging. And my logging should have been tested. Because does anybody of you test your logs? I do. And yes, so I started very excited on testing my logs. Does it contain error messages? Does it contain debug logs, etc., etc. So I started a shared library. I was so excited. And I even created integration tests. I created everything. And I released it. It went to production. I was happy. I was so happy. So happy. What do we call that in Dutch? So happy as a pauw. There we go. I was so excited. And after 20-something months, it was running into production. And yes, I hear that voice a few moments later. I was on GitHub. I was surfing on GitHub. And you know what there was? What? Log capture? What's that? Log capture captured log entries for unit and integration testing purposes. Okay. Let me think. So I have created a library which is already available on GitHub. And it's in production, my library already. So what should I do? Should I do nothing? Or should I go into panic mode? Or should I step over my proud feeling of my precious? And you know what I did? I took care of my precious, and I actually deprecated everything, and I did not cry in a corner. I started with what we call in Dutch omdenken. That's what I did. I changed it, and yes, I deprecated all my code, and I stopped using the library. It was time for action. And the action, what I did is I went into my repository, I created a pull request, and I deprecated everything. And I wrote some rules, actually, for the guy sitting here in front, open rewrite rules, to remove all my library stuff. Because, yes, I was proud of my library, but in the end, there was something available already on GitHub. And yes, now I'm proud again. I'm proud that I deprecated my own library. So I'm happy. And what I wanted to share with you today, here in those 5 minutes, because it's really short, is create your pull request if you find something in the first place on the internet that is already there, and add something to it, because it's something we share together. It's an open community. So please, open pull requests, etc., etc. And if there is something that you've experienced, present it and share it with each other. It's not rocket science. This is not rocket science. I've not done something very special. It's not a success story, but it's something I wanted to share with you. I've done something, and I was proud of it in the first place. Then I ended on GitHub, and I found out that there was already something like it. And that's the IKEA effect that I was telling you about. It's not always better to make it yourself. Look over the GitHub and be proud of using someone else's library. And sharing is caring. And yes, sharing this is also caring. Caring about you. Do not fall into the IKEA effect. Yes, it's cool to write your own code. Thank you.
This was not the IKEA effect. No. that was
Screensaver.
That was the screensaver effect.
Shall I disable that?
Screensaver.
Screensaver. Good reminder. Let's disable that first. What the fuck is it? Let's give me a minute to fix that. Let's see if this works. To the next one.
Okay, the next one up is Marianne with challenging the stereotype, reframing our image.
Good luck.
Are you ready?
I am.
Oh, did you already start?
No.
I would
We have some extra time. That's excellent.
And
3,
2,
2, 1,
hit it.
go.
Hi guys, thank you for your attention. My name is Marianne Hoornenborg. I work as a Java developer at the KVK, the Dutch Chamber of Commerce, and I'm very proud to be here today challenging the stereotype. We all know the stereotype of the typically male Dutch male developer that spends its evening gaming, spends weekends on pet projects. I personally try to spend time away from my keyboard when I'm off. So for me, the stereotype doesn't always hold up. I'm not into Star Wars Lego. Don't tell the recruiters. I've already seen big boxes of Star Wars Lego. I think they have a special plan at Lego for IT recruiters because it's something. It's written somewhere. We'll love it. We'll love Rubik's Cube. I have to admit, yes, I mastered the Rubik's Cube. And I actually think I advanced to the 4x4, hi Safe, to prove that I really am a developer. Because when I look in the mirror, I don't see what is the stereotypical image of a software developer. So when I changed careers 7 years ago, I doubted whether I was going to be technical enough to make it in this field. And then I got a chance to zoom in on our profession. And I was very happy with the talk that Sander Mak gave this morning, illustrating the non-technical aspect of our job. Because I didn't find so many technical skills needed. I never needed to make complex calculations. I did, however, run into behavioral analysis, seeing what a system and its parts are doing when debugging holds a lot of analogies with the non-technical world. We work as translators. We translate human requirements into programming languages. It's much like a play where we write behavior for actors to carry out in a stage. And there's research to show that language skills are a much better predictor for programming aptitude than numeracy is. Now, my sister said this slide was going to be hard to manage in 15 seconds, so here it's once more. Look for the blue. It's a very small predictor. The numeracy is a very small predictor for programming aptitude. And language skills are a much better predictor. I understand that from a historical perspective, programming was quite close to the hardware. And knowing bits and bytes and binary numbers and hexadecimal numbers was relevant. But in modern day programming languages, it's much more about visualizing abstract concepts, logic reasoning, and strong analytical skills. These are the three things that I found that might be called technical. Now, for you guys, you might wonder, why am I listening to this? I'm already a software developer. I know what I'm doing, so why would I care? Well, I think if all of us are able to reframe our image and shine a light on the underexposed areas, we can create more diverse teams. And how diversity drives creativity and innovation, you can Google that. I don't have time in my 5 minutes to address this for you. Teams that are diverse perform better. Now let's talk some numbers. 16% is the percentage of female developers in Holland. In Europe, the number is 22%. And at KVK, we work hard to improve our 12%. We need to. So in recruitment, we created diverse images that challenge the stereotype and that help us acquire new talent from a more diverse population. Once we're in, we have our female coders network, WeCode. I'm very proud that some of our female developers got together and said, we need to meet up and share our experiences with working in a predominantly male culture. Here, you might actually see some mansplaining in action. It's actually an image we created for our Java community. And later I thought, well, this is something we women deal with. We deal with specific characteristics of a male-dominated environment. Now, if diversity in itself is not a motivation for you to change the narrative about our field, then your backlog might be, because we have work for years in the ever-increasing automation in our society. So next time you get a chance to shine a light on the underexposed areas of our profession, please do, so we can attract a more diverse population to help us with our increasing backlogs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh wow! Wow! Don't set the bar too high.
Well, I think the bar has already been set too high. I mean, we had a great presentation by Willem so far, even using animated GIFs, and Marianne even incorporating this morning's talk. So you got your work cut out for you. Still.
Yeah, I will lower the bar for you, because as I already explained, I have no clue what this is, and it's an Ignite talk.
It's an Ignite. Actually, it's on the screen.
It's Ignite.
And it's Ignite.
Okay.
And it will be probably about your favorite topic.
Oh God, what is that?
You can guess.
Star Wars Lego?
No.
Oh God, let's see.
Actually, about your profession.
Let's see. Let's see.
Is everybody ready for the first blind Ignite? Let's give it a shot.
Again, I have no clue what the slides is.
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
So welcome to my Ignite, and basically I'm doing this because I'm lazy. Laziness is the best thing ever. I didn't have to make my slide deck, I didn't have to practice my slide deck, and now I just have to ramble for about 5 minutes and see what's coming up, because I simply have no clue. It says, who is Brian? I have no clue. Nobody knows who Brian is. You can ask ChatGPT, but ChatGPT doesn't even know. It doesn't matter. It's about faking it. Faking it till you're making it. You can do the IKEA effect. You can shine a light on things, but it doesn't matter as long as people know who you are. A developer advocate. Like, that's something like, I don't even know what a developer advocate is. I code a little and email a lot. That's basically what I normally say what a developer advocate does. But simply, I do not know. But does it matter? It does not. I mean, you cannot build a city overnight. You just have to make sure that you just put the things in places just like they are, and that people just see the pillars like, oh, what a great pillar. The rest of it is bullshit. Like, you can spin the wheel all around, and it says like, oh, do that. That's basically what I do every day. Like, encryption. Oh, what I'm going to do today. What is my coffee like today? Oh, I need to talk on stage this morning. What am I going to say? Literally, the slides from this morning, we made it yesterday evening. We tried to encrypt it, but it doesn't matter. I don't even know what it is, so why encrypt it anyway, right? I mean, encryption is great, and I can talk all day about it. But again, if you don't know what it is, like me, what am I doing? You don't even know what to encrypt. Privacy. Oh yeah, that's the thing. The thing with privacy is, if you don't know what you are, what you do, what kind of privacy do I have to hide? Nothing. So it's super easy for me, and that's all because I'm lazy. As a developer, you should be lazy. GDPR, like laws, are awful. I hate laws. But again, if people just make up things for me, like, Brian is this. Yeah, sure, I didn't even know. It's super fine. So again, be lazy. Let other people do the work for you, like building a slide deck, building a profile. People can encrypt it and see whatever it did. How did we get to this? Again, I don't know, because I'm lazy. Blinding nights are great for this. So every time you want to do something, go for a blinding night and ask people like, okay, pretend I'm Julius Caesar, and standing like this, make a slide deck for me. I just come up with words. Just words. That's all you need to do. Making a profile for yourself is just making up things, rambling around, and then try to read a slide that is 3 lines long and you have no clue what it is. 13 letters after in the... Again, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you cannot do it wrong. Again, let's come back. Be lazy. You can shine lights on things. You can do all sorts of shifting. Well, I shift every day because I've absolutely no clue what I'm doing. After this, I need to do a keynote again. Bert-Jan made the slides, so again, that will be a blinding night for me as well. People shift things around. Hopefully, I know what the slides will be. Yes, it's like that. Hello, JFO. Well, I made that mistake on JSpring last time when I came on board to JSpring, and I said to people like, good morning, JFO. And the people like, what? That was not encryption, but I can use that in my day-to-day now. Anyway, there are some alternatives, like people put things on slides and something with ASCII tables and custom alphabet. Again, it does not matter. You can let other people do things for you, present it, you're the star, and that's all that matters, what gets you into a job. So, let me tell you about the new and improved me, right? You don't need to know anything. You don't need to be a 10x developer. You don't need to know anything about IKEA, building closets and things. You just have to introduce 2 words or something with a number in it, because numbers are cool. Because you can up that to the next one. Like, if you want to introduce something new, you say it's ROT27. And I made it up. And, well, encryption. Again, you can encrypt something, but I don't even know what it is, man. What will it be? Exactly. Does it matter? No, it does not. Just be what you want to be. Be there, stand there, try to present on JFall, don't know shit about things, and again, go forward. Because, hey, that at least gets you on stage, that at least gets you a job, at least gets you paid, and in the end, I don't have to worry about anything. I have no clue what the last slide will be. Oh, the slide 19. What will it be? Again, I don't know, you don't know, but it doesn't matter. You are here already 5 minutes listening to my rambling, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, because I am lazy. I'll let other people do the work for me. So, are there any questions? No, thank you. This was great. Thank you for listening. See you later.
Wow. Wow. Chill mode on, chill mode on, chill mode on.
Heart rate, no.
You know what's actually the worst part?
Huh?
I have to top this.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have put myself second. Where are we? How annotations work? welcome, Jan. Thanks. I mean, we had a great crew in front of you. You're gonna top this? I think so, right?
I don't know how, but I'm gonna try.
You will. We have all confidence in that. Once you're ready, you have the
Make sure,
microphone.
make sure the handheld is a little close to your mouth.
Yeah,
But we find.
And then you
So,
Like this?
yeah.
yep, cool.
All good. Oh, sorry. Technical problems. The mouse. Have fun.
Okay, so I guess that most of you have used annotations
Oh,
sometime.
sorry.
A little bit higher.
Little
Yeah,
bit
higher.
yeah, that perfect.
I have also written some software that tries to use these annotations, and I'm going to try to explain to you how they work. So my credentials, I made equals verifier. It processes annotations. I made a little funny programming language built with annotations, and I have a program where they are forbidden to be used. So I've played around with annotations, and what do they do? I mean, they do a lot of things. They can do mapping to databases, they can do code generation, they can do validations, they can do dependency injection, they can do a lot of things, but how do they actually work? Well, we'll have to start with what is an annotation. They were originally intended to be metadata for code and for code analysis, but people started using them for more and more things over the years, and they can do basically anything now. But what if you want to write one yourself? Well, you have to define it as an interface with a little @ sign in front of the interface word. Then you can give it some parameters. Those are the methods of your interface, and you have some meta annotations. The types of parameters that are allowed are these. I'm not going to list them. And only these. You cannot use anything else, and everything that you put in there has to be constant. So you cannot do string concatenation, for example. That's forbidden. If you want to define a parameter, you can use the word value as a method name, and then you don't have to type out the name of that parameter. You can let it be implied, and you can give default values to some of your parameters. So that's the parameters. The meta annotations, there are two kinds, the required ones and the optional ones. So let's first go into the optional ones. Documented means that the annotation will be automatically put in your Java doc if you generate it. Repeatable means that if you want to use the same annotation on the same element multiple times, then you can do that. If you don't use @repeatable, it's not allowed. And inherited means that it automatically goes to the subclass. Target is a required annotation, and it defines on what type of thing you can put your annotation. So type means class or enum or whatever, and you could put them on fields or methods. You have to specify where you want to put them. The other mandatory one is the retention policy. There are three. One of them is called runtime, and that means that it is available through reflection. So you can get at it using reflection, and a lot of popular frameworks do that. And it looks kind of like this. You can take a class and you can get a list of the annotations on the class, or if you already know what you're looking for, you can just ask, do you have it, yes or no? Same goes with fields. If you have an annotation on a field, you can get at it with the same API. And once you have an instance of your annotation, you can call its methods and then you get the value out of it. So that's actually pretty easy. The next retention policy is called class. That means that the annotation gets put in your bytecode, but you cannot reach it using reflection. This is used by tools that do static code analysis. And the only way to read them is if you use bytecode manipulation tools like ByteBuddy. Those are fun, but a little bit more complicated, so I'm not going to share any code. But they require a lot of it. And then you can read them if you want. The last retention type is called source. That means that all of your annotations are being thrown away during the compilation phase, and these are used by the built-in annotations. The compiler can look at them, but nobody else. But also things like Lombok, because Lombok and other tools are compiler plugins. That means that they hook into the compiler, and that's when they read these annotations. But once the program is running, you cannot see them anymore. They are thrown away. So how do frameworks use annotations? Well, Spring processes all these annotations at runtime when you start up, so it can take a while sometimes. Other frameworks use this source annotation. They hook into the compiler and read them then. because you have to process these classes anyway. So the conclusions, annotations can do a lot of things, but they require a lot of work to get right and to get them to do something, especially at runtime or in the compiler. And that's it. If this went too fast for you, the slides are already online. You can look at them. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. Nicely done.
At least he knows what he's talking about.
He knows, yeah.
He doesn't need to fake it.
Very small
Next up, Daniel.
Are you up for this?
I am.
All right.
Should be. Project
Am I the
Carvel.
only non-Dutch speaker of the Ignites?
You're the only non-Dutch today.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
special shout out for Daniel today.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna
Don't
do it in
in
French.
Don't do it in French.
All
Don't do it in
right.
French.
That would be too much.
Let's go Kubernetes. Let's go ops. You ready?
I am.
Then let's get this party started. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, everyone. So before we start this, a question for you. What does the J in JFull stands for? Wrong. YAML. It stands for YAML. So if you're doing Kubernetes stuff, you have lots of options and lots of tools to do things, right? So if you want to deploy, you're using this Helm thing and packages it deploys, but maybe you don't like their YAML. Do I need this? No. Maybe you change it with customize. Maybe you go fishing for a CI/CD system and you get a squid instead. This is fine. We have 5 bajillion projects. I'll let you find one. Project Carvel, available at carvel.dev. It's a sandbox project since 2022, and it does many, many things by chopping the problem into small tools and then giving you each individual tool to solve an aspect of the problem. So it says from the website, the tools are reliable because you don't want flaky tools. Single purpose, they do one thing and they do it well. And then composable, you can compose them for a global solution that does more than each of these single tools, or just choose one if you want. We can't cover all 7 of them in 5 minutes, so I'm going to go through YTT for YAML templating, for cap to replace kubectl, image package for doing the FTP of the future, and cap controller, which is a controller to allow you to do GitOps in your cluster in a simple way. So YTT, YAML templating tool, is kind of like Helm templates and customize, except it's YAML aware. It knows what YAML is. It works on YAML files and produces valid YAML, and it's not Kubernetes specific. You can write any YAML with it. Programming happens through comments. Brilliant idea. So you write some sort of Python code in comments that start with #at, and then this is a valid YAML document, and it's also a valid YTT program. With syntax highlighting, it kind of looks like this. So at the top, examples with values. When you have complex values, it knows how to translate a structure into YAML. And if I try to make it ingest invalid YAML, it's going to yell at me quickly to explain me how it's wrong. You can also do many things, so inject values from the outside, from the command line, from files. You can do a control flow, so if statement, for loops. You can define your own functions that look like Python, so it's not these awful Go templates. And finally, you can use it to change existing YAML files. So if you're unhappy with something, you can still use this mode of Python programming to say, find me something that looks like this, and then add a field, and then change the value using this function, but it's very complicated. Okay, kubectl, very nice. Cap, even better. So cap is kubectl, but it takes all the resources you pass to it, and it makes an app out of it. So it bundles them together. It's smart enough to wait for things to be deployed. It orders the deployments in smart ways. So if I do cap deploy here, I give the name to an app. It's going to tell me what it's going to do, what's already in the cluster, what am I changing, so I can say yes or no. Once I click yes on this, it's going to deploy the things in a nice, smart order. So first the things that don't change, the config maps, and then it pushes the deployment. And as opposed to what kubectl does, it waits for me. I don't have to write custom wait rules or anything. And then once the apps are deployed in the cluster, I can list them and I get their names here at the bottom. And once I have the name of an app, I can go look at the top and say, hey, what is in this app? What are the resources? And when I delete it, it deletes everything. I don't need to keep the files that were created to create that. Image package. We had FileZilla to upload stuff. Then we invented GitOps, and now we have registry ops. We put our files in a Docker image that doesn't run, so you can pull it from the cluster and have your config in an image. Wow, what an incredible idea. Cap controller, you want to do GitOps, so this one has a resource called an app that has the 4 things you need for GitOps. what you're going to deploy, where you're going to deploy it, how you're going to change it, and which tool or which rules you're going to apply when deploying it. But it has a higher level workflow so that your developer, you don't have to think about where these files live or something. People install package repositories on your cluster, and you can do kcontrol package available list, and it gives you the list of things you can install in your cluster. You can inspect these packages to know how they can be configured, so you can discover dynamically, oh, I need to, I can give the namespace to this, and then you kcontrol package install it. And for the rest of the tools, we have one slide. So kbuild resolves images. It goes from Alpine 125.0 to Alpine is add sha blah blah blah. Vendor syncs file, kind of like get some modules, but for old type of sources. And then secret gen controller, which is a controller for generating secrets. Secret gen controller. I'm Daniel. As you have realized, it rhymes with YAML. Thank you very much.
Great one. Great one. Thank you, Daniel. All right. All right. My heart rate was after the talk.
I can't help you with that.
Yeah, no. That is true. My heart rate was at 135 after my blind ignite, and now it's down to 114. What's yours?
I think it was about 115 and rising just about now.
Because now it's time for your blind ignite.
Yeah.
So let's.
There it is.
All right. Apparently, I have to say
autoplay,
and then
the play button.
So, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this. I'll never be, but.
Jaap is there in the. You can blame him if something awful is in it, but he doesn't know. So be gentle. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, everybody, thank you. A high bar to cross. Say hi to AI. AI, of course, something really interesting these days that we have to come across, and something that we should welcome in our lives. AI being very interesting, being very much say hi to you. AI will say hi to me, of course. I mean, that's what we're going to work towards, is a system which will really get to know you, which will get personal, and will get to know your own programming style, for example. It will be a replacement for stuff like SonarQube. Like, once upon a time, we had to use these tools to do it all manually, and what an AI will do is replace this all with all automation. We hardly will have to do anything. We just can lay it down, basically the way that Brian will, created the presentation just by laying down. I mean, it was basically, reading my mind. I don't have to do anything. I will let the AI, or in this case, Jaap, create a presentation for me. He is my personal AI, and that will evolve into something better. We have a new idea. We have a new idea of something better for this world. We have a new idea that we can do stuff better, make our lives more valuable, and make our lives more meaningful, because we have to can spend time on more important stuff than just automating stuff. Therefore, your brain has to say hi to the AI. We have to make a connection. We actually have to make sure that we connect our brains. Kind of, I mean, who's seen Star Wars: The Borg? Star Trek: The Borg. I think you already know that. That's our future right now, and that's the ultimate way that we can connect. There is a question mark in between on how we have to connect those two, and that's actually what we're working on right now, is making sure that we see that fit and see that connection, making sure that our lives, our bodies are improved, so we can build that with microservices. I mean, the paradigm of the future will be microservices, where we will have services running in our brain, but also running in our AI environment, augmenting our cognitive capabilities. Running Spring Boot in our brains is the future in that sense. Our brain will play the game, I mean the game controller, of course, and controlling Spring Boot, making sure that we run our own services. I mean, what's better than have an actuator in your brain checking your health status? We don't need doctors anymore for that. ActiveMQ running is, of course, better than right now, but ActiveMQ will surpass that in the future, because ActiveMQ has a sort of reliability, which we need for AI. We need that reliability back. Connecting AI with ActiveMQ, having that reliability, making sure that we do the message passing between our AI system and our brain, back and forth, making sure that those images connect. Why the drones? Seriously, why the drones? The drones will make, will be able to control drones not just with our mind. I mean, actually, 9 years ago, Bert Bremer did that on stage with me, and kind of failed at that time. But that's something that we don't need anymore, because we have no Wi-Fi. We don't need it anymore. The Wi-Fi is gone. but it has been replaced with the reliable messaging for ActiveMQ, which also, of course, supports MQTT, which you can use for the more interactive messaging. And in the end, we will see an explosion of new innovations coming to fruition in this day and age, where we will really see, still for 6 slides, where we still see how this will work. And we might wake up screaming at night right now. We might get scared of this future, but I think that is something that we need to embrace. We need to embrace this future, see where it's going, and see what possibilities lies ahead. Don't be afraid of the coming AI revolution that will change your minds. I mean, first, right now, it might look that you're just doing Tetris, the really easy games. I mean, we played this on a Game Boy years ago, but that's just the first steps in using gamification to get people to know the new future. I mean, the future is now. We have to guide. We are the ambassadors, basically. We have the technical knowledge, and we have to guide the rest of humanity into a day and age where robots will help us and augment us, and pay homage to Alan Turing. I mean, he was the founding father of all this. He was the first guy, of course, to do the Turing test, which we actually are surpassing now. Will it all succeed? Will it all happen the way we predict? It depends. I mean, I'm still a consultant after all. If I don't see it depends, I don't sell any hours, and my boss will get angry with me. So it's an interesting future. We have to look at where we are going. And thank you for the presentation. I don't know what about it.
Wow. Wow. Really? Spring Boot in your brains? I don't want to know what the startup time is then.
I don't want to. It's I think a lot.
This is yours? All right, all right. Well, at least we lowered the bar.
Thank you.
No, it was great. Anyway, David is the last one.
Actually, 104. I'm surprised. Huh? I think my watch is broken. It's saying 105.
I don't believe that. You need to check your watch. Anyway, this is the last one for today. Please give David a big hand for now. All right, are you ready?
Never.
Never. Yeah, that's the actual answer. So you will get started in 3, 2, 1, and play it.
Hello. What's a quest? A quest is a long and arduous search for something, and that basically describes my challenge to create an educational game in my free time. This presentation I will describe the why and how I try to do that. So, why did I start creating an educational game? Well, I have 2 school-going kids, and it seems that education actually is getting worse and worse instead of better. So, we live in this age of great technological achievements. We have AI going through your brains with Spring Boot, apparently. We have phones in our pockets that are immense. We have internet everywhere. However, what does education do with it? With all this technology? Basically this. They put the text and the questions of our textbooks on screen, and that's about as fancy as it gets. So, how does education educate our kids mostly? Mostly through extrinsic motivation. So basically, they learn because they have to learn. So they have to get the grades, they have to pass, they don't want to pass a grade. And what you want is basically for them to learn through intrinsic motivation, because they want to learn. People are natural problem solvers, and the best way to learn is if there's a problem, and they need something, knowledge, to solve that problem. So how do you make children learn? Usually through games. That's the nature's way of learning in every species on the planet. And for also each game teaches a kid something. And in computer games, there's a special category called educational games. And usually they're explicitly educational. And they're usually just digital translations of paper questions with a little bit of variety. And what I want to create is an educational game that's a game first. And educational part should not be noticeable by the player. I decided to use an RPG, role-playing game, as my game, because I believe that it provides a lot of aspects which I can use for the educational aspects. So as story, but also various metrics and strategies that need to be employed in such a game. Now, my game focuses on 3 pillars. Math, using the stats and metrics. Logic, through puzzles. And financial literacy, basically through selling and buying items in the stores inside the game. Of course, I'm not making money on it, but there also will be gamification. But I'm going to keep it limited because I believe gamification is more or less psychological drugs. And like any drugs, use it with moderation. Now, the game engine I'm using is called Godot. It's an open source game engine. It's free. Installation time is 0. But the only downside is less of a install base like the major players, like Unity. Assets. Those are get from the internet usually. Like itch.io, Sketchfab, also just generating with OpenAI, ChatGPT. The resources are abound on the internet. Now, lessons are hindsight is always 2020. So in this game as well. I started out as a 2D like Zelda game, and a month ago I decided, fuck that, I threw everything away and started again in 3D. So that's, yeah. An important part that I learned was also the design document. Of course, yes, very important documentation. But in this case, it showed me really what kind of educational aspects were possible inside the game and what was not. Now, regularly my game is being tested by my minions, or actually my 2 kids. But they are such beautiful resources when it comes to just player testing, and they do things with the games I never thought were possible. Am I close to finished? No, not by a long shot. There's mountains of work to be done, but I do believe it's very purposeful and really worth the effort. So, I'm not the only one who thinks about that education should change. So this is a famous example. You got Elon Musk with his Ad Astra. He bought a teacher and said, teach my kids. However, I don't have that kind of money. If there's one thing I think you should take away from this talk, is that I believe education, the way we teach our children, should change. And I think we can all contribute to that. Have a nice day.
You did it, man. You did it.
You did
it. Okay, I want all Ignite speakers over here, please. This, in my opinion, the Ignites are one of the hardest formats to do because you don't have control over the timing. Even if you control the slides, if you know that the slides you made it yourself, it's hard because you cannot deviate. You need to have your story straight and on point. Either you're waiting for the next slide, or you're trying to catch up in time. So I want a big hand for all these folks. This was merely meant to as a fun session for you all to give you some entertainment during lunch. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of JFL. Thank you so much, and see y'all later.